It's a new generation engaged in the sort of confrontation that belongs in the last century. They're teenagers, many of them encouraged to take part in the unrest by their elders. The late 1960s saw the start of 3 decades of conflict. What's happening here now isn't remotely like that, but it's provocation and confrontation nevertheless. And it's the use of youngsters, not old enough to vote, in many cases goaded on by adults, that has shocked people.
Well, I blame the parents. I mean, I'm here with my son who, if he had been out in the streets at that age, I'd have been horrified.
The politicians here have to really unite and come together and condemn it and look for peaceful ways forward for, the young people, for the people who don't think they're being listened to at the moment during this process.
These are the grounds of Stormont Castle, the seat of a devolved power-sharing government created by the Good Friday Peace Agreement, signed 23 years ago. Hannah Irwin was born just before that. Now she's leading the youth wing of the Alliance Party, which covers the middle ground in Northern Ireland politics.
Parents don't feel they have the ability to stop their kids going out there because the kids are being drawn out by community leaders, by people who are stoking violence and stoking fears. They're being drawn out by them. The parents can't really speak out against those darker forces. They can't stop their kids going out because they know if they're seen to go against community leaders in that way, they could face attacks themselves, they could face threats, they could face anything.
There's deprivation in both the loyalist and nationalist communities of Northern Ireland. Those who want a united Ireland and the loyalist areas where there's anger about a border in the Irish Sea imposed by a Brexit deal. In many areas like this, surrounded by echoes of the past, it almost feels as if time stands still. Difficult then for young people to avoid the bad influences within. This youth leader has no doubt that many of the young people are under the firm grip of paramilitaries.
No children should be encouraged to take to the streets with this kind of violence. Does it amount to child abuse? That's something for the social services to consider in relation to this. And even when we think about the sinister forces that are behind some of these young people taken to the streets and the element of their playing, that could be considered child abuse also.
Stephen and others like him have an uphill battle on their hands. Andrew Simmons, Al Jazeera, Belfast.